Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right. Good evening and welcome to WSBI, your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, President and CEO of the Women's Small Business Initiative, LLC, and award-winning author. And welcome to another night of sharing. With us, we have special guest Wayne Altman. Wayne Altman is an entrepreneur and founder of Melody Clouds. After suffering from tinnitus and looking for relief to all the noise he kept experiencing as a result of this illness, Wayne became aware of binaural beats in 2018. He started listening to different types of sounds and music, and after some time, he noticed that the only time he does not experience extreme ringing in both ears is when he can listen to various music selections and give himself a respite from the noise. He joined several different subscription sites that have become popular, but none of them were worth the money to him. Either they were far too expensive or had sparse content. He had to try to figure out something better. He finally found the way to help anyone who has the same condition by collecting tracks from producers all over the world in dozens of different styles to suit any taste in music. Wayne currently owns multiple online businesses, all designed to enrich the lives of his customers and his community. Wayne is determined that the healing and beneficial effects of this technology should be available to everyone who wants it. So without further ado, please help me welcome to my platform, Mr. Wayne Altman. Hey, Wayne, how are you?
Oh, my God, you did that so well. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, it's one of my specialties. No. But
I had someone, very sweet lady, interview me once, and she has said I suffered from tendinitis. Mm-hmm. And I just sat there the whole time like, oh, my gosh, do I say something? It's tinnitus. You did it very well. Very, very well.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, when you look at the word at first, you do kind of think that, but it's like, no, that's not what it is. And, obviously, if you start reading and understanding, you definitely have to learn how to pronounce it properly. Believe me, I went and listened on Google a couple of times. I said, I got to get this right because. Yeah.
Exactly. Look, a lot of people, it's either tinnitus or tinnitus. And look, the vast majority of people don't even know they had it. Or don't even know that they have it and wouldn't know what to call it even when identify to them what it is.
Wow. And it's, I kind of was reading and trying to understand what it was. It reminds me a lot of vertigo. It's almost feel like you have this unbalance. You're not really sure what's coming in your head or the sounds. So I thought it was very interesting to learn this and understand what it does. But obviously, you're living it and breathing and dealing with it every day. So we definitely want to hear more about that. But before we jump into all of this, Wayne, why don't you tell my listeners a little bit more about who you are specifically outside of your work life in your business?
Thanks. Let's see. I served for 8 years in the U.S. Army. I was in Desert Storm. I married my wife, Tracy. We lived with our daughters, Cassidy, Reagan, and Morgan in California. And you mentioned it before. I'm an entrepreneur. By default, when COVID happened, the company that I worked for was a travel luggage company. And so when no one was traveling, basically they laid everyone off. And so I started another part of my entrepreneurial journey, buying websites, creating businesses. And I just happened in May to have someone show me binaural beats and solfeggio. And when I saw the profound effect that it had on me, I knew, all right, this is really what my focus needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But the thing is, knowing that, you had to go in this direction, not because you wanted to, but also at the same time, you had to find relief for yourself. And then realizing that, you know what, I'm not the only one who's dealing with this. So to take that
Correct.
journey of what you've had to go through and that suffering that you were dealing with, that, hey, I've got something that nobody else has per se. And obviously, I'm sure that there are other who, like you said, they're out there, they're more expensive, they're sparse, their content isn't as good. So you took it and ran with it, and now here you are. And, you haven't been doing this very long, but at the same token, you're growing and you have a lot to offer. So tell everybody, a little bit about the illness, a little bit more, explain it, and then explain how those binaural beats truly do help you. Because I did get a chance to, get on your online Melody Clouds, and there was so many other things on there. So I can't wait to hear a little bit more that you can explain to the listeners about really what Melody Clouds is truly about.
Well, starting from the beginning, back in May of this year, I had a friend of mine said, he knew that I am hard of hearing. I've lost about 70% of my hearing, and what I do hear, I hear through tinnitus or tinnitus. Okay. Mm-hmm. And for me, it is a ringing or whining in my ear, and it is extremely loud. And so it makes, day-to-day life really, it's difficult. It's difficult to fight through that. So if I'm watching TV, I've got to hear it through that. And so he said, look, I want you to try these binaural beats. And what a binaural beat is if you have earbuds or earphones on, they take one frequency in one ear, another frequency in your other ear. Your brain then marks the difference and registers the difference between those two frequencies. And that can bring relief from a lot of different things. We actually can block grief, those electrical impulses in our brains that will, or depression. You can give people a respite from grief and give them some relief, and which I found it to be amazing. I was like, oh my God, this really put me in a very good mood. How did it do that? And he explained, look, that your brain is made up, your thoughts are electrical impulses. They operate at certain megahertz, certain signals. And when you have the ability to manipulate that to a certain degree and change focus or put someone to sleep that is having trouble sleeping, you can treat PTSD.
Oh, wow.
So it was amazing to me. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is amazing. Because I noticed, like I said, when you were doing this, you were thinking about beyond just helping yourself, but, everybody's in a daily day rush, what you talked about as a part of your bio and how this actually helps you to relax and to stay calm. And people need that regularly. It's like it seemed like people didn't learn anything from 2020. They're still, it's
right.
like, oh, the world's back to normal. So let's go back to being crazy. Right. And so.
Well, we poured gas on that.
Yes. Absolutely. So it's, those situations of, hey, I'm finally calm and content being at home and trying and doing things with my family. It's like everybody is now pushing that literally to the side and out the door, and everybody's back to that day-to-day rushing, trying to deal with the kids, trying to deal with their, going back to work back and forth. Some people are still on a hybrid and so forth. But at the same token, it's like, what did people learn? So I love that you have, this option for other people to think about utilizing, because not everybody's really into, they may not enjoy having the chamomile teas, because it takes time to think about, okay, well, do I have time to even put that together? If you're somebody who's consistently feeling like you're rushing and your mind is constantly racing, there's certain things that people cannot do to relax themselves. So most people do enjoy like listening to music. So having this option with the binaural beats, I think is really interesting and amazing. And I would have never thought about that ever. I'm the opposite person. I go and listen to other music to relax my mind.
Yeah, and this is, I'm just going to mention. So every one of us understands the power of music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put it to you this way. There are 17 movies in the history of cinema that do not have a musical score or soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Every other, even silent movies, had someone playing the piano while you watched, right, the images on the screen. Now, why? Because we automatically know that music lifts us up. You take certain music to the gym to get a good pump in, to get a good workout, right? You don't take Tchaikovsky to the gym. You take Iron Maiden, or you take some hard, heavy metal. You really want to get a good workout in. If you're going to worship, all right, I could take you to a church that is playing a heavy dirge on an organ. You and I, without even listening, or without even seeing one another, would know that it's time to get reverent. It's lower your voice.
Right.
It's time to be calm. Now, go across the street. Maybe we go to a Southern Baptist church, right? And they're playing praise music, and the choir is singing, and everyone's hands immediately go up. They're ready to pray. So we've known since before written history that music soothes the savage beast. Music can focus armies. These things, we know those things that it works.
Right. I agree with that. That is the truth. Yeah. It's the healing for most people. It brings people together even on their worst day, right? So is that music?
Right. Every wedding.
Yeah.
Every wedding, there's music. Every party. When we want to get together and party, what do we do? First thing is, who's bringing
the music, right?
Right?
Exactly.
Whether it's a DJ that's, got a turntable, or whether it's a band, that's exactly. We know that we bring music to whatever it is.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
And then what's interesting is the history of solfeggio. Solfeggio is a little bit different. It's a singular vibration or tone. So instead of having binaural beats where each individual tone is going in each ear, solfeggio is a little bit different. When it's the recognition. I don't play a musical instrument. Do you play a musical instrument, Kim?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. But you and I would both know when a piano is out of tune or when a guitar is being played and it's out of tune. That is solfeggio.
Okay.
That is solfeggio. That is our ability, even though we don't play the instrument, to notice that this vibration is wrong. This is not the way it's supposed to sound. And so you can use solfeggio frequencies to do basically the same thing as we're doing using binaural beats for. Wow. And this is really what started melody class. This was so fascinating to me that I could actually give someone who has PTSD give them a break from those thoughts because of that music or because of those frequencies.
Wow. That is very interesting. So has there been any, like any other, I guess I want to say like maybe counselors or any other people who've maybe worked with you or looking to or utilize kind of the same type of scenarios to help calm their patients so that they have, like you said, to get their mind out of things that they don't need to be thinking about to keep that calmness? Have you had that
100% yes. 100% yes. We're approached all the time. We are in partnership with several different treatment facilities to provide their patients with the ability to relax. I suffer from mind racing. You mentioned it earlier. When you lay down at night, your brain is constantly racing. You know, think that those thoughts are constantly racing through your mind. Makes it difficult to sleep. I have binaural beats that will drop you like a sack of potatoes. You will just slip into a REM sleep, and you'll be like, whoa, what happened?
Wow.
Because your brain operates on those frequencies are what is the cause of that. You know, your brain is operating at 174 megahertz, and I can relieve your stress and relieve pain. If we talk about 285 hertz, now you're healing organs and different tissues in your body. I mean, it's amazing what the power of what these bits of music and these frequencies, what they'll do.
Yeah, it is. I would just think it's amazing though how you never really would have thought about this if it didn't really happen to you. You know, and it's like I said, it's not that we didn't know certain things, but when you go through certain things in your own personal life, you really start to take interest in the interest that you have provided because it heals you to know that there's so many more other individuals out here suffering consistently, going through the same thing and not knowing what to do, you know, besides somebody telling them, you know, here, go take this pill. And, you know, that pill really isn't the remedy for everything. So
you bring up, that's a very good point. That is a very good point.
That's usually the first thing people are going to shove in your face and say, oh, go take this pill. You'll be fine for depression, right? And it's like, is that really the one all be all for everything?
Yeah. No, 100% that's correct. When I first, so I've suffered from tinnitus for 30 years. I didn't know what to call it. I knew I heard this noise in my head. I knew that it was always there, and I just thought I was going to have to deal with it. And what this allows it to do is for the periods of time that I have the headphones on and I'm listening to this music, I hear silence. For the first time in 30 years, I heard silence.
Wow.
And I had started reading stories about people who have maybe they had taken their life because they couldn't get the sound out of their head. It was their only option, they felt like. And so it was very important to me at that point that, look, I know that this is what I can do. I can bring this to people, give them the option of maybe using this, maybe not as treatment. We've not discovered of a cure for tinnitus. This is not a cure. So anybody listening, this is not going to cure you of it. What it is going to do, though, is give you the moments of silence that you haven't had in a very long time. And it will also give you a resource to relax and to actually just calm yourself and be at a better state of mind.
Right. And then, like I said, just being able to rest, because a lot of people on the normal, if they have no issues, just being able to rest is always a number one issue, because like I said, your mind is constantly racing. You're thinking about what you're going to be doing today, tomorrow, the next hour, and then, you know, you can't even get any real sleep. And then when your body finally decides to shut down, it's literally time to wake back up, because you spent all night long thinking about all these other things because you can't relax.
Yeah, you're not rested.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
You're not rested.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I got an email from one of my subscribers, and she said, you know, Wayne, thank you so much for this. And I finally am able to get to sleep. I relax. I get a deep sleep. She said, I was taking 4 Benadryl a night to get to sleep. And my chin hit my desk. I thought to myself, oh my God, I mean, that number one, that is not what that medication is
for,
given to us for. Okay. And that you're taking 4 of, a normal dosage would be 1. You're taking 4 to get to sleep. What is that doing to your kidneys, to your liver?
Yeah.
And you're not talking about doing this once. You've done it every single night. Is there an addiction issue that we've now got to discuss? You mentioned it before. The first thing that they want to hand people is a pill for this or a tablet for that. Well, look, the list of side effects from these medications sometimes are worse than what you're taking it for.
Right. Yeah, because you start, you may fix one thing, but then you got to turn around and fix 20 other things down the line because it will eventually affect your body. Yeah, because it's not meant to be used in that fashion. But when you hear somebody doing something like that, like I said, is it really addiction? Because at one point, it gets to the point where that Benadryl no longer is effective. So then
that's you got to take more.
Right. So that's when
you got to take more every single time.
Exactly. But it turns more into a mind thing, in my opinion, when you hear somebody saying, well, I'm taking 4 of these every day just to get to sleep. How effective is it really going to be? Because your body has gotten so used to it, it really isn't helping you. To me, it's more of a mind thing at that point.
Yeah, it actually lent more credibility because when I first started this, I'm the least woo-woo guy you've ever met in your life. Okay, I am not a chakra and a crystal. Not saying anything bad about any of those things. All I'm saying is I had no exposure to any of those things, and that's not the direction I was coming at this from. So when someone came to me and they said, "Hey, look, I've tried this before. It doesn't work." I was like, "Oh, I wonder why that is." And then I remembered, look, when I go to a doctor and they give me a medication, the next checkup, they check to make sure that medication is working.
Correct.
And so if it's not, what do? They give me a different medication.
Right.
So it tells me that not every medication is going to work the same way in every single person. Okay, now this is even more credible to me. If it worked the same way on every single person, then maybe it is in your head. Maybe it is, something other than what I'm saying that's doing. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
That really opened up my eyes to this even further, and allowed me to do the amount of research and to have the confidence in it as I did.
Yeah, because it even sounds like it's something that will work for people who have insomnia, and all those types of things that, instead of putting all these breathing tubes all up inside of you or wearing all these, or either getting something tagged to you in order for you to sleep, this sounds like a perfect option to try. Because like I said, not everybody wants to drink a tea. Not everybody wants to take a pill. There's, so this is a great option for people to think about. Because I even think about this being somewhat similar to Calm, when you need to have that calmness and they have that app where you sound like you're hearing rain all day long, it calms you down, right? So this being a great option needs to be definitely consistently more prevalent, and people need to understand that there are much more options available versus just having to take that stress pill because you think that's the only thing that's going to help you get you through the day or through the night. Yeah, so it's
one of the other things too for me was I took a look at what the other options out there were.
Right.
When it came to look, are we? So now I know this works. So, but that's not a business to me. That's not me, going out and creating a business around it. I started looking into this and where can I get these beats? Where can I, how can I? And I started noticing that everyone that had an app similar to this wanted $15 to $20 a month in subscribers fees. And I'm like, oh, man, that is very expensive to me.
Right.
Why is it so expensive? And I came to the conclusion that it's that expensive because that's how much money they want to make. They want to make a lot of money on this.
Exactly.
And so I determined that Melody Clouds would never do that. And like I want to tell your listeners, for Melody Clouds, it's $2.99 for 2 months, 60 days for $3.
Wow.
And the largest button on our app is the unsubscribe button. Okay, so you don't have to look for it. If you don't think that we're worth the money, you need to press that button.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the 60 days, it's $6 a month, which is a third of what anyone else is charging. I want to make people who are not using Melody Clouds feel a little silly for not using it.
Right, and give it an option. So tell the listeners exactly what you have available, because I know that there's like 8,000 hours of what. Awesome. Tell everybody what that is.
Right. As of today, you and I sitting here talking, we have over 300,000 files on Melody Clouds. Now,
wow.
17,000.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Audiobooks. So some people like reading books. Other people like being read to. I have all the classics on Melody Clouds, from Wuthering Heights to Tom Sawyer to Jules Verne, Edgar Allan Poe, all being read to you by professional voiceover actors. These are high-quality audiobooks. There's 30,000 books, so if you prefer to do the reading yourself, by all means. There's 30,000 books on Melody Clouds if that's how you want to relax. Then there are 2,000 hours of lullabies. New parents need to pay very close attention to this because we cut our lullabies into 20-hour sections. Now, why? Because you can't keep your baby asleep 20 hours. That would be silly.
Right.
But if you put that baby down for their nap or to sleep, and they wake up in the middle of the night, and they hear the same music being played, they have the same sensory, they know that they're in their room, they smell, the atmosphere around them is the same as when went to sleep, they will self-soothe between 30 and 60% quicker. That's the first skill we learn as new human beings, is our skill, our ability to soothe ourselves and get back to sleep. So there's that, the lullabies. I am adding over 100 Aesop's fables being read by a Hall of Fame radio announcer has joined up with us, and he's reading the Aesop's fables, which I love. I love those stories so much. I wanted to give those to kids. So you can sit down with your child, sit down next to them, and if you're too tired to read, young kids need to be read to.
Right.
So if you'll sit down next to them, open a book, and have someone read to them, they're going to be so much smarter than if you just leave them to the TV or to the cell phone.
Exactly. Get rid of the cell phone, right?
Right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we're so tired coming home, we'll hand our kids the cell phone and they'll play a game or whatever. Well, instead of doing that, hand them the cell phone or hand them a book and let someone read to them. You sit and listen with them and spend that time together, and your kid's going to be better for it.
Right. Exactly. And I noticed that when I was reading your information that a lot of your audio books are actually designed and translated in over 100 different languages. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I went a little crazy. We're not gonna. Hey, Tracy, I'm very sorry, baby. I want to apologize. So I had Melody Clouds is translated into 140 languages. We're in 210 countries. I decided I'm going to go ahead straight from the jump and make this available to everybody. Okay, it's available to everyone.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure of that. So I went a little. It's true. I went a little crazy with the translating. But I wanted people in Greece, as well as people in Romania, as well as people in Kansas, to be able to get the benefit of this. I don't think our borders are imaginary. Really, I wanted everyone to be able to listen and to enjoy that.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of the virtual world and the technology that we have, so that you can reach further out to those who, you can't sit in front of and talk to, but they have that capability to, like you said, download. Some people want to be read to, some others want to read it themselves, and just basic learning how to relax. You're giving them every option. There's no excuse to say, well, it's not in my language. And like, no, did you check? So
Kimberly, I started getting email in foreign languages that I had to go and have them translate the email for me.
Wow.
And that to me was a incredibly special feeling.
Exactly. Because you're reaching people and they're actually listening. They're actually communicating with you and giving you feedback that lets you know you did the right thing. And that's what's most important. So you're not local, you're global, you're all over, and people have that capability to learn that there's different ways that they can relax, that they can be calm, that they can, help their kids as much as helping themselves. Because we all know that, the kids react off of what they see every day, right? So if they see their parents running around acting crazy 24/7 and they're not understanding because they're upset and cranky all the time, immediately that kid's going to have that same reaction. And, I think there's much more. Go ahead.
No, you're 100% correct. I just want to affirm what you're saying. I mean, our children watch and see how we handle things. And, I grew up, my kids, I've got 3 girls, and my wife and I, when we get upset with one another, we don't hide that from our children. We want them to see, okay, we're upset with one another. Here's how you get over that.
Exactly.
This is how you fight with your spouse. You don't go, try and hide that or sweep it under the rug or not have the discussion. No. We want to have that discussion right now. And now you get to see how 2 responsible people who love one another are going to have this discussion.
Exactly.
And your mom will win. But other than that, I'll put up a good fight. This is how you do it, though.
Love it. Happy wife, right? Happy life.
Yeah, this is how your mom beats me at every single discussion we have. We don't even call it a fight because, she beat that out of that.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, I want people to be able to give an example to their children and say, look, when mom is stressed, she lets Calgon take her away with Melody Clouds, and that's how she de-stresses. She doesn't need to go, yelling and screaming at people. She's going to remove herself from a situation, take a break, and just, have some time to herself, which she honestly, or he honestly, they deserve.
Exactly.
Our tagline on Melody Clouds is take charge of your mood.
Love it.
Take charge of your mood. That means if you're angry, you cannot be angry. You can decide, all right, I'm going to take steps to release this anger and to get over it. Or take charge of your mood. I'm mad. I'm sour today. Well, guess what? Unsour yourself. You've got a job to do. You've got things you need to take. You need to go out and handle goals to achieve, and it's going to be easier if you're in a relaxed state of mind and you know exactly what you're up against.
Exactly. You hit that right.
And
hit that absolutely 100%.
It doesn't cost you $30 a month to do it.
To do it, exactly. And it, like I said, it gives you options. And like I said, you are in control of your happiness. You're in control of your mood. If you get off on the wrong side of the bed today, why? What can you do to make that change? And you're giving them the option that they can sit back and think about, how could I do this differently? And, like I said, there's many other options out there, but you have to still put the work in. So even though it's available and people can utilize the resources that you provided, and, they have melody clouds to go to, it is still up to them to take the responsibility to take care of themselves, because nobody else can understand what's going on if you're not willing to do your part. So, yeah, I love.
Well, one of the things I want to mention, that's 100% true. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to mention before I forget, I came across a 8,000 episodes of old time radio program. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're in the process right now of adding them to Melody Clouds as well, because if you're driving somewhere and you can't find anything to listen to on the radio, or your music list is, you're bored of it, listening to I was talking with someone else this morning, and we were talking about shows that just aren't funny anymore. Mm-hmm. And I listened to some of the funniest shows in my entire life, and they were 50 years ago. They first came out 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that is amazing that I still find this funny, right, or this is still interesting. They came up with, these are new concepts that they've come up with, and it was 50, almost 60 years ago that it actually first came out. Wow. So we're adding all of that to Melody Clouds. As you and I sit here, that is going up on the website and on the apps. So I'm very, very proud of what we've been able to accomplish so far.
Well, and you should be, because you have definitely accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. And, you're growing, you're connecting with others. And then also, I love the fact that with everything that you've put into the Melody app, the Clouds app, that the key is you're also going to be introducing us to a whole new a group of eyes and group of ears of young people who've never even heard of some of these books or never heard of some of the music you're going to be providing, all these different things that you are giving people the opportunity to excel on in a different manner. And I think that's great. So you should definitely be proud of yourself. Definitely keep patting yourself on the back and keep doing your thing.
Well, I was having a conversation with my youngest child, and I happened to mention to her the story of the fox and the grapes. I said, that sounds like the fox and the grapes. Mm-hmm. And that's an Aesop's fable for anyone that hasn't ever heard it. Fox is going along. He's hungry. He sees some grapes, but he can't get to them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the story, he doesn't get to the grapes, and he says that the grapes are sour and probably didn't taste good anyway. And it struck me that she had never heard those Aesop fables. So I ran through like 10 or 20 of these fables. She had never heard of any of them. And I said, what are they teaching you in school that you don't know? The tortoise and the hare. You don't know the crow and the pitcher of water. I'm like, what am I paying for? And so I immediately downloaded Aesop's fables and got my friend Gary Meyer to start reading. I said, Gary, take these, start reading. These kids have got to hear these stories. Wow. And so they can put some perspective in their life.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's like they've taken, in some of the school systems, they're taking the innocence away, of just simple things of learning. And, because everything now is about the technology. Everything's about texting. You got to do it this way. You got to do it. I said, all those things that we learned growing up as kids, it didn't hurt us. It enhanced us, and it helped us to be able to come out into the real world and know how to function. And, those.
Well, I think it's particularly dangerous when your child can come to you and show you how to do things on the phone or do things with technology that you may not even know how to do. Mm-hmm. Yet they can't even tell you the story of Fox and the Grapes, or they can't tell, these basic life lessons.
Exactly.
You've got to take a pause. You've got to say, wait a minute, it's great that you know this, but maybe some life lessons would be a good time for you right now. Maybe learning these things about how to treat others would be a good idea.
Yeah, well, that actually, some of the adults need to go back and read that story and learn how to treat
it's there
others,
for them
because
too. Kimberly, that is there for them too.
Because I tell you, I don't know what's happening, but things are definitely going. Like I said, the simpler things that we learned growing up is literally out the door. It's almost an insult, to realize that, you, like I said, we learned some simple things, and obviously we're a part of some of the generation that, we've learned the computers and all that type of stuff, but we have the capability, just a basic, sitting down and having a basic conversation without having to use a phone, or sitting down and knowing how to go to the grocery store and now knowing how to count money. I mean, all those simple things that we had, the basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, it literally for some has gone out the window, because some of these young people don't even know how to do arithmetic without a calculator.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Right. You carry with you the entirety of the human knowledge in your pocket. Each one of us has access to the entirety of human knowledge in our pocket and walk around with it like it's nothing all day long.
Right.
And many of us have forgotten the most basic lessons and skills, how to de-escalate, how to de-stress ourselves.
Right.
And that's what Melody Clouds is about. We're trying to, hey, everybody relax. It's going to be okay. Just calm down and, listen to some good music.
Exactly. All right. Well, wow. I mean, this has been a great conversation, Wayne. I'm so excited. I'm glad that we finally got a chance to connect, because it's been crazy trying to, get ourselves together.
Looking forward to this.
But, now.
So looking forward to this.
I know. So, glad that we got the opportunity, and it's a new year, new vibe. And, and that's the one thing that I really wanted to focus on during the month of January, is getting people to get out of that same syndrome of, I'm going to reach my goals. And then, 2 months later, you don't have any goals, because you don't take the time to really go through the process of taking care of you first. And so a big part of this month is about learning how to take care of you. And here's the first thing that we're talking about is Melody Clouds, learning how to just relax, learning how to enjoy being in the presence of that moment versus worrying about what's going to happen 20 days down the road, and you don't even know if that's really going to stay the same. So there's just all these different things that I think that people need to kind of reanalyze and reassess about themselves, because we suffer sometimes in silence. And when you're suffering in silence, it doesn't get you anywhere. And so, having these options to understand that you have to make yourself a priority, and you can start now. It's not about starting at the beginning of the year. It's about realizing that if you don't make certain minimal changes, it's going to show you that by the end of this year, you're going to be the same that you were from last year. So, like I said,
it's 100% true.
Yeah, Yeah. So, I'm just so glad, like I said, we had this opportunity to communicate and talk about this because we've been biting at the bits to get this done. And, we're finally here. And I just hope that the listeners have truly appreciated what you're talking about and what you're providing. You can't beat it. $2 and some change. I mean, come on now. You almost can't even get a cheeseburger that cheap anymore.
For less than a gallon of gas in California,
Exactly.
You can take charge of your mood. You can, Starbucks won't even sell you anything for under $6. So
Exactly.
For an entire month of the content that we're providing to people, and frankly, I'm in a position where I own all of the material that's on Melody Clouds. That price is never going up.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pledge to everybody who's maybe thinking, maybe I do this, maybe I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for it to. And since we're global now, I've been able to show that I can spread that around to people from, every different walk of life.
Right.
So I hope that people find something. If it's not Melody Clouds, find something that is going to de-escalate things for you, that's going to help you reach a sense of calm, and Godspeed to everybody.
Amen. Exactly. So before we end this evening, Wayne, why don't you give out your contact information and where they can find Melody Clouds, and then let us know if you have anything new that you want, anything else you want to share new that's going to be going on in 2023.
So in order to get in touch with me, it's Wayne Altman, ALTMAN, at melodyclouds.com. Melodyclouds.com is the website. The app is free to download on the iOS and Android. Subscription, it's $2.99 for the first 60 days. You get 2 months at $2.99. Then it goes into $5.99 per month after that. And just, kind of watch that space. We've got a lot of really exciting things that are coming on board. I can't talk about, but there's a lot of stuff that we just covered. So,
Right. Absolutely.
Very happy the way things are going.
Well, again, like I said, congratulations. And again, thank you for coming on and being my special guest for tonight.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. But for everyone else, I hope you definitely enjoyed this evening. And I hope you learned something about the show tonight. Learning how to find relief in a different way. It's not about just, like we said earlier, taking a pill or just, always drinking tea or just getting out of the pocket because you're upset about things. There's other ways that you can cure your illness and be in control of your happiness, without medicine alone. So, there's ways to resolve things. And if you're listening to this tonight and you need help and you want to be connected, you can reach out to me anytime, and I will definitely connect you to Mr. Altman. I mean, Wayne has something special here and unique, and it's not some of your basic apps where they only offer you the one item. He's giving you a lot there. An opportunity for you to bring that relief and that comfort and calm into your life. So like I said, you can reach out to me at Kimberly at WSBILC@gmail.com. Let's have that chat. And also let's talk about your dreams. How can we turn your dreams into your goals? And then of course, if you want more of your resource for success, we do take monetary donations to support the podcast. We now accept them on Cash App, PayPal, Good Pods Tip Jar, or you can go directly to the website at www.wsbilc.com. Again, we would like to thank you all for listening to us tonight. We'll be back next week with more amazing guests, and be sure to follow us on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening and good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.